Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and in this tutorial I am going to explain you one of the more advanced topic in SQL, which is subquery. A subquery, or it has another names like inner query or nested query, is a query within another SQL query and which is embedded within the where clause. A subquery is used for returning the data that will be used in the main query as a condition to further restrict and filter down the data. They can be used with select, insert, update and delete statements along with the operators like equal to, less than, more than, less than or more than or equal to, in and between. There are some few rules that subqueries must follow. The first one is subqueries must be enclosed within the parenthesis, as you can see in the syntax. Second one is we cannot use order by command in the subquery, although the main query can use an order by. Subqueries that return more than one row can only be used with multiple value operators such as the in operator that we have seen earlier. The next rule is a subquery cannot be immediately enclosed in a set function, and also the between operator cannot be used with a subquery. However, it can be used within the subquery. Let me show you how we can use subqueries by some simple examples. So this is the SQL command line interface, and today we are going to use subquery command on the employees table. Let me show you its metadata. For this, just type a describe command which is desc and the table name which is employees. So as you can see, these are the number of columns present in the employees table along with their data type. In the first example, we are going to retrieve the employee ID, first name and last name from the employees table who has the job ID similar to the job ID whose employee ID is 159. For this, we just have to type select column names which are employee ID, comma, first name, last name from the employees table, and we have to use where condition here. So where, in the where condition, we want the records for employee whose job ID is similar to the job ID whose employee ID is 159. For this, we just have to use where condition, where job ID which is equals to, and now we have to use a subquery here. So open bracket, on the second line we have to use a subquery. For this we will just use select, and now we have to select of course the job ID column. Select job ID from the employees table, same table, and again we have to use where condition here, where the employee ID equals to 159. Bracket close, semicolon and enter. So as you can see, we are getting the records for employees whose job ID is similar to the job ID of the employee whose employee ID is 159. In this example, in the outer query, we are selecting the three columns, namely employee ID, first name and last name from the employees table, and we are using the where condition on the job ID column. And in the inner query, so we are getting the job ID for the employee whose employee ID is 159. In the next example, we will try to get employee ID, first name and last name for the employees whose salary is greater than the average salary of all the employees. It is so simple query. For this, we just have to type select employee ID, first name, last name from the employees table, and we have to use a where condition here. So where we want the employees whose salary is greater than the average salary. So here we have to use the where condition on salary column whose salary is, and we have to use greater operator here. So in bracket on the second line we will use the subquery, and our subquery will retrieve the data for the average salary. For this just type select, and in this case we just have to retrieve the average salary. AVG, we have to use average function here for the salary column from the employees table. So bracket close, semicolon and enter. Here you can see we are getting the employee ID, first name and last name for the employees whose salary is greater than the average salary. I know that subquery is a very difficult topic, but with some practice and hard work, you will get the clear understanding how we can use the subqueries more effectively. I hope you understood what is a subquery and how we can use it in the different SQL examples. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and also ring the notification bell to get latest updates.